South Australian Sports Show. You can stay with us for the next hour. We have got plenty coming up on the show. We're going to get across a fair bit of footy. Got some ice hockey, got rowers coming in, trying to get across as many sports as we can in the next hour. As always, my co-hosts BE and BC. I'm trying to shorten it down because we've got a lot of stuff to get through.
Good, go.
There you go.
Well, you want to go with the Brittany and the Barry? You want the last names thrown in as well?
Happy with that.
Happy with that?
Happy with
BB.
that.
BB. Yeah, I feel like I'm
B2.
working with B1 and B2, bananas and pyjamas. Hey, there has been a bit of good news, of course. I've said we're going to start the show as much as we can with a bit of good news. So this one, Aussie Neil Roberts. Now, most people won't know who Aussie Neil Roberts is. He's a snooker champion, absolute champion. Yeah. He shot 147 maximum break at the World Championships just recently. It's only happened 12 times. It's the 5th time that Roberts has done it, though. And he, of course, he went on, unfortunately, to lose. But on the upside, his mum was there with him. Yeah. He's won 3 of the 4 biggest snooker tournaments this year in the world. Yeah. And he said it's been an absolute dream season for him. So I think we can say a little bit of good news. Obviously, not great news because he lost that one, but 3 out of 4 is pretty good.
What an icon. Aussie icon, really.
Did you see the highlight? Did you see him do it?
Watched it.
It was quite amazing. It was an amazing break.
I wonder what you're sitting there, though, when the guy's breaking, you're watching, I'll be up in a sec. I'll be up in a sec. I'm not getting up, am I?
I just think, which end of the queue should I hit him with? That's right, you're thinking. You're sitting there with your little glass of water watching him destroy you. Because that's exactly what he did. He destroyed him. It's a great game, snooker. It used to be a bit like darts, where
very
the guys
strategic.
would have a few pints as they're playing. That's how it used to be once upon a time.
But they've gone more professional now. It's
much more. For years and years and years. But Alex Higgins, Hurricane, was...
Well, I grew up as a little kid watching Eddie Charlton.
Well, I toured with Eddie Charlton.
You went live.
I toured with Eddie Charlton and Steve Davis.
Did you?
Around Australia, yeah. They were doing a tour.
Yep.
Steve Davis came across. He was the world #1 at that time and played Eddie Charlton in a series of snooker, obviously, all the way around the country. So I actually played Steve Davis on the snooker table at Rothmans.
Right.
So I've actually played the world #1 in a game of snooker.
How'd you go?
How'd I go? Well, you asked Steve.
Yeah, I did. He said he didn't play a shot.
I know. He slaughtered me.
Okay, because we're going to run out. That's why we had to shorten everything. The AFLW, some really good news, of course, there. The champ, Daisy Pearce, has agreed to sign on for 1 more year at 33 years of age. So with the Demons, obviously still in search of that premiership that the Crows stopped them getting this year. But she's not saying that's the end of it either. So, she's got her work commitments and media and stuff. So there was a lot of speculation she might hang up the boots and go into that. But she's agreed to play another year. But hasn't said this will be my last year. She said, I've just agreed to play another year at this
She's waiting for Aaron. She's waiting for Aaron to stop. When Aaron stops, Daisy will stop.
All right.
Because that was greeted with open arms by all the Crows fans who, with Aaron going back to Port Adelaide, they loved it.
I don't reckon that's the article. You know what? I reckon it was all pretty good until Erin said she was trying to recruit another Crows player, and then it went south real quick. Well, she went from being really popular and embraced to the Crows supporters going, hey, we don't like you anymore.
And Cornsy's article didn't help.
We know Cornsy.
Well, what a stupid article.
Well,
we're trying to keep it good here.
Just quickly, before we get to Millie for the news, of course, the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers in the NBL became the first team in 40 years in the history of the NBL to be a franchise team and go into the grand final. So well done to the Jack Jumpers. We are off and running and we have to get moving pretty quickly. Over to Millie for the news. Millie?
Thanks, Phil. Yes, well, from concussions to horse racing triumphs, it sure has been an interesting week in sport, so let's get into it. It was an intense weekend of play during round 4 of the Adelaide Footy League season, with upsets and comebacks no one saw coming. Ross Trevor Old Collegians coach Ben Watkins was excited by his side's remarkable win over Tea Tree Gully on Saturday after the Gullies led the game by 20 points into the last half. Ross Trevor managed to hold their opposition to 2 goals in the final 2 terms, with Ross Trevor player Nick Murphy kicking 5 goals for the match. At the sound of the final siren, Ross Trevor took the win home with a final score of 85-64. To the SANFL now, where the North Adelaide Roosters are sitting on top of the ladder after their 70-point win against the West Adelaide Bloods on Saturday. The round 5 clash saw the Bloods lead into the second quarter, but unfortunately it was all downhill from there when Roosters' Campbell Coombe helped the team push away, kicking 3-goal-1 for the match. The 10-goal-10 win hurt the Bloods, making it their 5th loss of the season. The Roosters celebrated with a final score, though, of 105-35. To the AFL now, where he's no stranger to kicking the match-winning goal, but this time it was an all-conquering point from Robbie Gray that sealed the deal for Port Adelaide over St Kilda last Saturday. Port booted 5 of the last 6 goals in that gruelling contest to secure its second win of the season, with Port Adelaide players Ryan Burton, Kane Farrell, Todd Marshall and Robbie Gray making a difference when it mattered. The Power brought the win home with a final score of 43-42. The Adelaide Crows were crushed by a 59-point loss during their home game last Saturday against GWS. The Giants dominated the first half to decide the result, with starring roles from Toby Green, Josh Kelly and Tom Green. Things got even worse for the Crows as stand-in captain Brodie Smith was concussed after a high-flying mark, which was followed by a nasty landing that impacted his head. Adelaide will travel to Victoria this week to face Carlton in round 7, while the Giants will host Geelong at home. GWS ran away with a final score of 113-54. Now over to local horse racing, where the feeling is in the name. The synonymous Jolly family have made history over the weekend as 3 generations of trainers tasted success at the same meeting for the first time. David Jolly kicked it off with an early double at Morfettville as Miss Langtree and Gaze Grise saluted his brother Richard and niece Chantel. They then joined forces as See You in Heaven captured the Group 3 Breeders' Stakes, with family patriarch Peter Jolly competing the set, with Morvada proved too tough to listed the City of Adelaide Stakes over the weekend. It is the first time the Jolly family have all won, sharing 4 races on a 9-race card, 2 of them being state contests. The father-daughter combination of Richard and Chantel already have one hand on that maiden premiership, with victories on each past 9 metropolitan meetings, taking their tally to 40-13 in front of Tony and Calvin McAvoy. In the women's cricket now, where Australia's all-conquering women's team has turned its attention to driving cricket into the Olympic Games for the first time in 132 years. The mission to return to cricket to the Olympic Games with Australia's pursuit of Commonwealth gold in Birmingham this winter, with the World Championships eyeing an opportunity to showcase an irresistible case to IOC bosses. Australia are treating this year's Common Games as a catalyst to Olympic inclusion in hopes that the reintroduction of cricket will be welcomed back in 2032 when Australia hosts the Olympics in Brisbane. That is all the news I have for you this week. I'm Millie Walters and we'll be right back for more with the SA Sports Show.